Breaking news online, published by Cathay Powder River's local paper, The Powder Summit. Powder River, Old Mill Site, late fall 2026. Monday's hearing for the river lot permit renewal of their hydro license has been postponed. Instead, in an historic move, the CER will make a public announcement declaring that a settlement has been approved and terms for a new permit have been unanimously accepted by all parties and government agencies. As a prequel to the formal government announcements, celebratory statements are about to take place next door to the Old Mill Site's brewery, kicking off a weekend of revelry. And now, as the hour approaches, anticipatory sounds float through the air while the Hearts Club continues to fill up. Seated comfortably in the front row, Aya Velenz was so pleased with her Uncle Robert for sharing her vision and desire for building a dream. Earlier that day, she awoke startled with burned-in retinal images of her dream state, and then remembered where she was, with her favorite relative in Stefan and Sonia's apartment above one of the town site's heritage buildings. And now her mind flooded back to the dream and the recent memories of how she had blurted out the contents of her repeating vision to her uncle and his immediate reaction of acceptance. And of course he would be supportive. It was he who had told her the stevedore legend. He had long ago grasped its truth. We are swimming in a great natural resource, fresh water, and the world is clamoring for it, not only today but far into the foreseeable future. And what's more, its time had arrived. All the required elements for water delivery to world markets were finally laid out before them. It was clear that the two of them needed to formulate a good strategy and get full cooperation with all involved. Right away, Robert had seen how to approach it. She had been amazed at how he followed up with weeks of research, consultations, phone calls, and meetings, organizing, compiling, and presenting a compelling pitch deck, the draft of a bulletproof expression of the vision. And today, he is conveying the results to the public and introducing the incredible partnership that has been formed. The curtain began to rise and a hush gathered in the hall. She directed her attention towards the stage. There he stood before the crowd, poised, inspired, drenched in the golden glow of the spotlight, a lone, intensely compact figure, ready to speak to a jam-packed, overcapacity crowd in the Hearts Club. She could hear a pin drop as 500 pairs of ears waited for the first word. Welcome, my fine friends. Discussions are concluded. In light of the opportunity presented by the unique set of geophysical, economic, cultural, and political conditions of Cathay Powder River at this moment in time, I, Robert Probert, your neighbor and fellow resident, am both delighted and overwhelmed by the opportunity to unveil a unique vision to unite and uplift our community. This is a practical developmental map for our future with a high probability of establishing our community as a world model for how a small seacoast town can succeed in achieving the 21st century standards required for sustainable industry and eco-friendly life on our planet in every sense of the word. Please turn your attention towards the screen as the house lights are dimmed. Executive Summary. PREI and Salmon Nation, a shared industrial future, waterships, a new clean energy platform for Canada. Powder River has a unique combination of an enormous freshwater reservoir, hydropower, deep-sea anchorages, an industrial zone shoreline, skilled workforce, and clean energy export potential. These physical elements, combined with treaty governance and environmental stewardship of Salmon Nation, coupled with hydropower and industrial prowess of PREI, align to form a new category of industrial infrastructure, the watership platform. The watership platform is a scalable floating freshwater export industry capable of generating in excess of 100 million gross per ship. The partnership resolves conflict, advances reconciliation, satisfies regulatory requirements, and creates a generational economic engine for the Sunshine Coast. There exists an undeniable elegance to this plan, made possible only through the willingness of all parties to merge our region's extremely rare combination of very special and specific resources. Our First Nation provides governance and stewardship of the world's most valuable commodity, freshwater. They have chosen to share it globally with those in need by birthing a new venture, the Watership Project. Utilizing only a few hundred cubic meters of hydro tail race water per day, released from the dam and captured before it returns to the ocean, which also provides many adjacent deep sea anchorages, First Nations will use these two resources to form the business core of this strategic use of fresh water. To achieve this, Solomon Nation have signed a partnership agreement with Riverlot, the owners of the dam and hydro station. The municipality is eager to be involved by providing services for integrating the private and public interest of all citizens with Solomon Nation and PREI. They will lend their administrative services and license permits to facilitate the development of adjacent land use to specifically support the Watership Partnership. Additionally, they hope to structure a community development corporation for creating additional capital and allow citizen participation through purchase of shares. Now picture this. The year is 2029 and you are standing on the balcony of the Old Town Market's Hearts Club with your fondest friends sipping the Old Town Brewery's brand new Tail Race Lager while looking west. A gorgeous cafe sunset unfolds over the Salish Sea, along with the signature scene of the breakwater hulks lying quietly outside the former log pond. Two handy Max waterships rest at anchor, gleaming beside their reflections in the calm waters. Tomorrow, they sail with the rising sun, carrying their precious cargo of stevedore bottled water to thirsty destinations around the world. Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Arab Aromati's, Qatar, Indonesia, California, all eagerly await the arrival of this pristine water from Powder Lake. And not one liter was extracted from this amazing 18 trillion liter reservoir. Every ounce was recovered tail race water from the dam, a discharge of used outflow from the Riverlot's hydro plant. The same water as tail race beer, water within a few minutes of being absorbed into the salty depths of the Salish Sea. And it is the second use of expelled water, coupled to an array of available and dependable sea routes, yes, fresh water and seagoing vessels combined, that truly reflects the ingenuity of our people and the incredible blessings of our great natural resources. Harnessed in a most renewable fashion and surrounded by the supporting industries of the Shoreline Business Park, we, the people of the Sunshine Coast, are setting the bar high for the world to see what a small town can achieve when we unite and cooperate to create a strategy where everybody wins, rather than using the old-fashioned and time-worn combative, adversarial, and divisive techniques of fighting for competing and conflicting interests. Okay. Right now, getting ready to join me on this stage for the signing of a tripartite partnership agreement are representatives from our First Nation, CEO and Chairman of Riverlot Power, and the Mayor of our fair city. Please give them a warm welcome. The roar of the crowd explodes as they rise in unison with extended and continuous loud cheers and boisterous applause. The response is unbelievable. Aya is swept with emotion. All of a sudden, the room seemed distant, the perception of sound fading, and a quietness surrounding her amidst the wildly demonstrative crowd. Yes, she thought, all of these assets are present. In her mind's eye, she could see it all laid out before her. The foundation of the plan is a freshwater tail race from the dam. Water that would provide for an amazing recovery of the salmon runs that once dominated the mouth of the Powder River. She could visualize a reconstruction led by First Nation stewardship and knowledge. Ladders and runs, switchbacking and scaling up from the wildwood shoreline, replicating the type of habitat of returning salmon and cutthroat trout, ascending to the deep and extensive waters of the Thawiyala, advancing toward their primal spawning pools. Aya was astounded by the economic viability of bottled water. Her uncle, with the help of consultants and engineering reports, had prepared CAPEX, OPEX, ROI, and CARG metrics, and many more financial considerations that opened the door to an overwhelming river lot response. This in turn added a welcome participation from federal and provincial governments, as regulatory paths could easily be achieved at speed with both First Nations and corporate cooperation. This brought the municipality into the fold, as the benefits and spin-offs of taxes and jobs for the community was precisely what they had hoped for. No doubt additional adjacent corporate landholders would be overjoyed as well with their prospects for involvement. All parties agreed. This was absolutely sustainable and renewable. Everyone understood the miracle. Exceptionally small amounts of tailrace water from the dam would be occasionally captured before it became resalinated in the sea, then pumped a few hundred meters to a medium-sized refitted ocean-going vessel with an on-deck bottling plant. The very same cargo ship would dispatch this big demand bottled product, exporting it to global markets. Hundreds of millions of bottles could be sold, tens of millions of dollars in profit, payback in 18 months. Furthermore, this operation was imminently scalable by adding another ship. Indeed, the possibility of a fleet to meet growing world need was in the cards. Here was a flagship enterprise for a vibrant, eco-friendly, and supportive business park, also supplied with the power of the hydro plant that once served as a dynamo for the mill's operations. She could also envision the secondary industries supporting the flagship initiative spread out along the shoreline. A stacked hydroponic endeavor of growing berries in trailers fed by tailrace waters, and she laughingly said, "Strawberry yields forever." Then, jumping forward, why not a hydrogen fuel cell plant powered, capitalized, and engineered by Riverlot, already a world leader and innovator with all forms of energy, but this time stacking assets by adding green energy that could eventually propel the water ships. I imagine spreading out along the southern shoreline a shipyard industry with docks, graving berths, and immediate access to deep-sea waters for maintaining and ultimately building deep-sea vessels. And also drawn from the tailrace, a secondary and immediate waterworks providing irrigation to reclaimed land and raised bed gardens supporting food sustainability. Not only would it serve industry, this supply of water would beautify the business park with fountains and pools. She saw pedestrians on bike paths and walking trails woven throughout, trails where proud citizens could explore the area that had been off limits for decades. Work and play vibrantly intertwined. All these thoughts played out like a movie scene within a scant 60 seconds of brain activity. Then, her surroundings came back into focus. The noise of the crowd had transformed to a bright and bubbly buzz. An announcement blared out over the sound system declaring tomorrow a civic holiday, concluding with a statement that kegs of tailrace beer were being rolled out of the brewery. And as of now, the intersection of Marine and Ash were closed to traffic and open only to pedestrians. Let the party begin. Aya stood up, shook out her hair, and danced her way into the throng of happy celebrants.